Rob Macfarlane here. Today we're going to be watching Aliens, and more specifically the introduction, how Ridley Scott created a group of people that we care about before all the horror starts. I think we've all watched a horror film where it's pretty scary, but to be honest, by the end of the film we realised we didn't really care about any of the characters, and it ended up being that we didn't really mind if they ended up getting killed by the monster or not. So first and foremost, Ridley Scott spends like the first 3 minutes of the film without any characters whatsoever. In fact, he really allows us a chance to take a look at the Nostromo, the spaceship that we're on. This is super important because this enables us to see what the environment that these people are living within. This introduction also gives us an idea of how large this spaceship is, as well as how much of a maze the ship is. These are super important concepts and ideas for the audience to understand, to really help sell and really nail the horror of the film for when the monster arrives. However, the very first Aliens film did something that so many horror films since then just have not done, and that is create likable, interesting characters that we want to follow. Not just a character that we think, hey, they're a good person, therefore they should live. Instead, wow, this group has a real human dynamic. Each of them have wants and desires, things that they vie for, they argue about, they live within the world. They have likes and dislikes. So Ridley Scott had a really difficult proposition on his hands. How does he very quickly get us to understand who each character is? Not just as a character, but where do they fit in with this crew? Who likes who agrees with one another, and how does that affect the dynamic of the film moving forward? So when they are presented with the problems, as we know, the alien, how does each of them react, and how do we make sure that we understand why?
The food is terrible. What's say if you got any biscuits over there?
Here's some cornbread. I am cold.
Still with us, Brett? Anything so bad, man?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel dead.
Anybody ever tell you look dead, man? Oh, yeah, right. I just forgot something, man. Before we dock, I think we ought to discuss the bonus situation.
Right.
Brett and I, we think we deserve full shares, right, baby?
You see, Mr. Park and I feel that the bonus situation has never been on an equitable level.
Well, you get what you contracted for like everybody else.
Yes, but everybody else gets more than us.
Now, if mother wants to talk to you. Yes, son. Your lights for my eyes only. Okay, get dressed, huh? Parker, go on.
Can I finish my coffee? It's only been good on the ship.
This moment where we're at the table, the dinner table with this group, they're obviously a hodgepodge of people from different backgrounds and different families, different cultures, and they're all moving and acting in the way their character would act. Everything from the two engineers who have a very close relationship to the captain who's looking very pensive, where one of the characters says that she's cold, but no one responds to her, showing the dynamic between the group and this particular character. She obviously complains so much that people are just ignoring her. Even the joke that one of the characters pulls on the other at his expense is met with smiles, smirks and laughs from everyone around the table. The dynamic of this group is strong. They definitely care about each other, and they definitely have a connection with each other. And even when the two engineers raise the issue of shares, it's met not with a serious, somber or questioning attitude. The group joke about it. We're not having to use any exposition for us to understand that these people have probably been on this ship together for a pretty long time. They're not being taken seriously, showing again how each of the group members have their own wants and desires. The captain then reacts to the ship, and a signal sound is actually quite relaxed. So again, we understand the type of character that we're dealing with. He is one of the crew. He's not a top-down type leader. He is also a quite laid-back captain. This initial sequence where we meet these characters is also very reminiscent of the Reservoir Dogs at the beginning when they're in the diner before they go and do the robbery, and we have a fantastic chance to meet each of the characters and see how they respond to each other and around each other. The dinner table is such a fantastic place to reveal character and the way in which we banter with one another, that it's so fantastically used in this film in Aliens. Ridley Scott has really gotten us to feel like this is a family on board the ship, and that is so important when dealing with horror films especially. We've really got to root for the people that we want to survive. Otherwise, why are we watching?
Want me to shoot this guy? Shit. You shoot me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize.
We also understand quite a bit about what their journey probably entails. They're not used to having to deal with anything that is truly mysterious or dangerous. This is a pretty standard mission / trip that this group is used to taking. It's a mining ship, so they're doing a pretty rudimentary journey. They're not expecting anything to go awry. So again, we're not being told this, but we understand this. The characters are relaxed. They're enjoying each other's company. They're none the wiser. The fun, quirky banter and behavior, chatting, talking back, it shows a real connection between each of the crew members. Even once we're in with the characters in the cockpit of their ship, we now understand the dynamic between the engineers and the crew members in the cockpit, why there is this subtle yet very evident divide between the engineers who are down below and the characters in the cockpit who work with each other constantly. This is very similar to how most working situations end up being. We niche into groups, and we get even more fantastic nuances about the characters from this section as well, where we get little quips and quirks.
Keep trying.
Calling Antarctica Traffic Control. Do you read me, Antarctica? Over.
I found it. Just short of Zeta 2 reticuli. Haven't reached the outer rim yet.
24609. Calling Antarctica Traffic
The hell are we
Control.
doing out
Do you
here?
read me? Over.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's not our system.
I know that.
Listen, you don't notice how they never come down here? I mean, this is where the work is, right?
Well, it's the same damn reason we get a half share of their one. Our time is their time. That's the way they see it.
No, but
Same old shit, man.
But I think I know why they don't come down here. It's because of you. You don't have a personality.
For more tips and tricks on how to make your film super scary, I did an episode all about how to scare without special effects, specifically looking at aliens as well, and it's a super awesome episode. You should check it out. In summary, I feel like Ridley Scott was able to do something truly special with Alien. It is widely regarded as the best Aliens film, and there's a reason for that. It takes the time to let us in on the real world with these characters. We understand who they are and what they mean to each other, as well as what they want. And when a filmmaker takes that time to do that for each of the characters, to love each of the characters, and to enable us as an audience to feel the weight of their journey if it is about to finish, we really do get so much more from each of the events in the film. Thank you for watching today, guys. If you found this content useful, please hit the subscribe button, the bell icon, and smash the like button. Please find some more links below to even more content to raise your game on your next project.